We had one post in the Facebook group that was very much about feeling tense when you come to your mat, or feeling like, ugh, like I'm not getting my alignment right, or sort of that kind of critical energy. So there's so much we can talk about here, and I just finished, yeah, I'm not naming names, but it really sparked a really powerful thread in the group. And again, like if you're watching this and you're not part of our Facebook groups and you're sort of looking to deepen your yoga practice, or just kind of find a like-minded community or kinship out there, you definitely want to join us. Again, the free group is Yoga Hacks, community.com. Okay, so root chakra, you know, our first week in the challenge, we're talking all about grounding. And for the free class on YouTube, the class had a ton of alignment cues. You know, the chakras start very gross, physical, right? The first chakra is like the most dense plane. And no, I'm not in my new house yet, Mester, but thanks for asking. So the class on YouTube, thank you. The class on YouTube has a lot of physical alignment cues, because the chakra, the root chakra, is sort of the densest of the chakras. So I was really working to kind of get us in our bodies and to maybe feel some things we haven't felt before, especially when it comes to this area of the root. You can't see me, but I'm like the root chakra down there, the pelvis, the sits bones. And you know, there was mixed reactions to that class. A lot of you guys loved it, and I know some people in the group said like they just felt it was too much talking, too overwhelming. Yeah, like Mester says, she loves it, the cues, the tips. It also had a ton of visualizations. I know there's a couple uplifted members who found the class like sort of like a turn off. Like it was like, why is she talking so much? And I know for some people, maybe like Stephanie, so many alignment cues, you know, made it hard to be present, or made it hard to be in your body. And you're like, you know, you mentioned like the furrowed brow, and you're like, am I getting this or am I not getting this? And one thing I wanted to offer on that particular topic was basically that there's kind of like two different types of yoga practices. There's the one that you come to your mat and you're using your mat just like you use the science of yoga to balance you out and sort of become your best self. You're using your mat as balancing time. So I'd say like 75% of the time I come to my mat, I'm coming to my mat to improve my energy and to sort of like balance myself out, if that makes sense. Like I'm coming to my mat depleted. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm coming to my mat depleted. I'm really needing my yoga practice to sort of like help me, sort of save me, and bring me back into feeling good, if that makes sense. And so when you're coming to your mat in that state, it's like not the best time to focus on like every single little detailed alignment cue and really push yourself. It's the time to really like be personalizing your practice. So that's kind of the first type of practice. And the second type of practice is like you come to your mat and you feel amazing, like life is pretty good, you already feel balanced, and you know, things are working. And that's the opportunity to really go further and deeper in your practice and really like try to nail those alignment cues, or try to do like hardcore chaturanga instead of modifying. But you don't need to do that every single time, right? The definition of yoga is that it's a journey inward, right? So there's no like perfect physical thing we're working to attain. You know, it's all sort of just like a game at the end of the day. Like we're using the practice to get better connected to ourselves and to have deeper awareness. And even the person who posted that they didn't love the free class, they loved the uplifted members only class, they didn't love the free class, said that in doing the uplifted member only class, like there was just less talking and she was able to just get into it more. Sorry, I'm reading all your comments and it's very hard to keep my train of thought, so I apologize. And feel free to ask me direct questions about the root chakra or anything. But what I kind of wanted to share with you is that not every practice has to be about like getting that perfect alignment and getting that you know, perfect chaturanga and like doing every single thing I say in terms of alignment cues. A lot of the times you might just want to come to your practice and just absorb what you can absorb and let the rest go, and really just use your time on the mat to take care of yourself. Your mat is your time to balance yourself. And usually we come to our mat because life is like stressful and sometimes hard, and we have relatives visiting, or we're moving houses, or crazy things. We need to use that time to sort of replenish ourselves and fill our cup up, right? And then who's had the experience? Like, put a 1 in the chat of like just this amazing yoga class. Like, you go in, you feel great, you're already feeling great, life is already like pretty good, and you just have this amazing class, and you like kind of hit some poses you'd never hit before for the first time ever. And yeah, and Stephanie said that's what you realized on your post the next day. Yeah, like sometimes you just practice and it all comes together. But 75% of the time, at least I'd say for me, it's not really quite like that. I'm not coming to the mat and being like, whoa, I can hit full splits so easily. Whoa, I just nailed this back bend variation that I'd been meaning to try, right? That's like the 25% of the time or less. The majority of the time, the rest of the time, I'm just coming to my mat to take care of myself, to have some time in my day that's special for me, and you know, just an opportunity to really reflect and hopefully balance myself out. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost, right? Like, it's like you don't have to do everything I'm saying in the video. You can pause the video. You can just feel good for trying. You can just do restorative or yin, or I tried to do we rarely get to focus on ourselves. Exactly. Smudger. It's like, that's what we really want to be focusing on. And another tip I wanted to give, and pausing the video is great. That's the joy of a personalized practice. Another tip I wanted to give was that, you know, yoga is also the perfect balance of sukha, and we're going to talk a lot about this in teacher training, but a lot about the balance between effort and ease, right? So again, if you're always coming to your mat and never pushing yourself, that's a problem. But if you're coming to your mat and always pushing yourself, that's a problem too. In every pose, like triangle pose, you want to have an equal balance of effort and ease. You want to be thinking about the alignment and pulling up through your muscles, but you still want to have an open chest, a soft gaze, a soft tongue, a soft mind, right? You're constantly looking for that balance between flexibility and strength, between pushing yourself and not pushing yourself too far. Like, that is the definition of yoga. So if you're coming to your mat and really pushing yourself and getting tense and feeling angry, you know, just remind yourself, it's about finding the balance. That's what we're trying to surf together, is to try to find that middle road where effort and ease are just complementary. And when you're walking that path, everything will start to feel really natural, really good. So let me know if you have more questions about that. And if you're like, well, how do I do that? How do I balance effort and ease in my practice? How do I know if I'm doing it right? I actually have a very easy, simple, clear answer for you, which is cool because there's very rarely simple, clear, one-size-fits-all answers when it comes to me and when it comes to yoga. But for this one, I actually have a very clear answer. So give me a yes in the chat. Let me know you're here. Say yes in the chat if you're ready for me to tell you how you know if you're balancing effort and ease in your yoga practice. And I will tell you, I will reveal it right now, okay? And some of you may already know what it is and like kind of guess where I'm going with this. Okay, how you know if you're balancing effort and ease is your breath, right? Your breathing. That's how you know. That's how you know. Because if you like muscle yourself into a pose and your brow is furrowed and you're like thinking about your abs and your tailbone the whole time and like overthinking it, are you breathing? Probably not. You're probably like in your head and, you know, things aren't working so well, right? You need to be breathing. That's why that long, slow, deep count breath, 3 count inhale, pause, 3 count exhale, pause. All of that is what's guiding you. That's your guiding light, right? Because that can really tell you if you've like muscled into something. Yeah, exactly, Stephanie. Your breath is going to be restricted. Exactly. So a lot of times, even I like will go into a more advanced variation of the pose, perhaps a bind, right? And then in the bind, I'll be like, whoa, I can't breathe as well as I could have, like I could breathe a lot better when I wasn't in the bind. And then yes, passion is everything. I'm glad you like my shirt. Then I'll come out of the bind and it's like, whoa, I'm not as in a advanced variation as the pose, but I can breathe way better now. And that's how I kind of am able to pull back into ease, right? And if you're just, you know, too easeful and you're just like sitting on the mat snoring asleep, right, or falling asleep, right, like that's too far on ease. So you want that disciplined ujjayi breath. Yes, exactly. You want to be more aware of the breath, and that's what's going to really help you find that balance. Jen says, I really loved this week, and you've repeated the root chakra class 4 days in a row. Jen, woo! Are you doing the YouTube class, or are you doing the uplifted member only class? Let me know in the comments, because I'm curious. And again, some other things to keep in mind, you know, that YouTube class has a lot of talking, because on YouTube, I never know who's watching, right? So I'm going to over communicate. So some people said they found the uplifted member only class just like a lot easier for them to get into and flow with, because I'm just more at ease. Like if you're an uplifted, it's like, I trust that you kind of are pretty committed to yoga and you're not going to hurt yourself. The 40-minute one, and you're going to do the uplifted one Saturday, Sunday. Awesome. Yeah. So, you know, we never know when we come to our mat. I periscoped from the airport on my way home on Monday from the San Diego retreat saying, like, I'm so excited to do the root chakra, chakra 1 when I get home, because I like to do the challenges with you guys. And, oh, thank you, B. And I did it. I started doing it, and I loved the first, like, 20 minutes. And, oh, Messer, thank you. You're so, so kind to say that. Thank you. So I came home on Monday and I did the first 20 minutes of the first chakra class, and there were parts of it I loved. I was like, oh, I remember this. My sacrum feels so good. These squats feel so good. My low back feels so good. But 20 minutes in, I was sort of like, I'm not feeling this anymore. I just kind of like didn't want to stay with the sequence, which happens to me a lot. And this is me taking my own class, you guys, right? So I just sort of stayed on my mat for the full duration of the class, but I sort of like did my own thing, and I modified. Thank you. I will not change. So that's just an example of how, like, even me coming to the mat, taking my own class, it's like, there's parts of the class that I loved, and then parts that I just decided to sort of flow and be in the new moment that was the moment now. You know, another thing about that first chakra class, it was interesting because one of you commented and you were like, you know, the uplifted class, I seemed more at ease. You know, the first class of any challenge is very nerve-wracking for me as a teacher, right? There's like a lot of pressure. I want to like give you guys an awesome experience and like bring in a lot of cool new stuff. You know, I was also filming with like a crew and people that I didn't know as well for the chakra challenge, especially on day 1, the very first class. So I think you'll see also as we move up the chakras, not just do I get more comfortable, but the themes get lighter, right? Because we get lighter as we move up the chakras. So that's just also interesting, something that you guys made me reflect on, and I so appreciate it, because I was looking at it, I'm like, was I nervous when I filmed this class? And it's like, I still get nervous, you know? I still, you know, feel pressure in certain ways, and, you know, again, as I'm not filming everything just all alone by myself anymore. So sometimes it's just like, you know, new people in the room or new equipment that we're using, and it can just, you know, it's a lot. So can I ask you something other than yoga? You can. I don't know if I'll be able to answer you well. Jen says she really likes it though. And yeah, so I mean, overall, the reaction to the classes have been so positive. I'm so grateful for all of you who are here and doing the journey with us. And if you haven't signed up for the Chakra Challenge, you still can at BrettLarkin.com/chakra. So definitely check it out, and let me know any other questions you have in the chat. I know so many of you love the visualizations of being in mud. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, take the class and you'll see. But you're on your own journey, and you need to personalize your practice, every aspect, every day of the week, every minute, you know, like personalizing it is what it's all about. That's what Uplifted is about, right? Uplifted isn't about me. It's not about anything other than like people who are committed to improving their life through yoga by personalizing their practice and going deeper than thinking that there's a one-size-fits-all solution or one style of yoga fits all solution to anything. Everyone who's in that community understands that it's deeper than that, and they want to go deeper, and I'm so privileged that I get to hang out with all of you. So thank you for being there. And again, if you're interested in Uplifted, check it out pretty soon, because after Chakra week 2, I'm shutting it down for a little bit. just to, you know, revamp. We have the app coming out, and I just want to grow the community slowly too. You know, it's a very interactive, amazing group. So the goal isn't to, you know, like be the next Gaiam or something, right? Like I want to keep it small with people who are really committed and, you know, just love the yoga practice and want to hang out with other people who love it as much as they do and as much as I do. So thank you so much for being here. I hope this little live chat was helpful. Tune in for the podcast tomorrow if you haven't listened to it, the Uplifted Member Only class, and of course Chakra 2 starting next week. Bye, you guys.